building quizzes in WordPress. Here we go. Okay, just a quick thanks to the sponsors as well. So we've got Kinetics, WP Engine, Plesk, WordPress, and Microsoft as well. They give us lots of things for free for the WordPress meetups. So we give them thanks and make sure to visit them and see what they offer. Okay, so we've got a couple of people here, Bob and Gerald. If you want to introduce yourselves, I'll give you the floor for a couple of minutes. Otherwise, feel free just to pass the baton.
Yeah, I'll speak first. Yeah, I'm still learning about web development, still learning about WordPress. You never stop learning, do you?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm Gerald Hagney. I'm in Arvada, Colorado.
Wow.
I have been doing WordPress just before 5.0 dropped, and I've got a family genealogy website and working on a couple e-commerce sites. And the quizzes sound interesting for my e-commerce site.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm going to develop a football educational website, and quizzes might be perfect.
Oh, fantastic! That sounds really good. Yep. If you see some things coming on the screen, I apologize, but I'm just trying to get my sound settings just a little bit better.
I can hear you clearly enough. It's just whether you want it for the YouTube recording.
Yeah, I've got the sound coming through my little microphone, so that's
right.
Oh, well, that'll do. Okay, that'll just have to do. We've got John is joining and Sharon as well.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, thanks, John. Do you want to give a little introduction about yourself?
Oh, I live in Kais Beach, work for New South Wales Health, and use the WordPress for 3 years, something like that. That's better.
That's all. That's good. Sharon, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi, Sharon. Do you want to just share a little bit about yourself, what you do, how you use WordPress?
Yeah, sure. So my husband has a tourism company, like a tour guide company, and so I sort of dabbled with WordPress for a couple of years, and then yeah, when he studies business, I did his website, and then yeah, a couple of little websites. So now I'm just kind of trying to get some more skills so that I can do websites for people on the side.
Great. Thanks for sharing.
No worries.
Okay, we'll move on. If anyone else comes in, I'll just try my best to admit them in. Just a little resource that I'm promoting at the moment. So Learn WordPress, so learn.wordpress.org. It's a relatively new resource that's been popped up, and WordPress are kind of really pushing for people to submit tutorials and workshops and things on there. So if you are new to WordPress, or if you're looking to kind of delve a little bit deeper into some of the different parts of WordPress, have a look there first. Because a lot of the stuff is free. In fact, all of it is free. Most of the workshops are US based, but they're trying to get some more within our kind of region as well. So it's worthwhile having a look there just to see what's on there, and just keep your eye on it every month or so, because it is a growing resource and it is free, which is great. Okay, so tonight, talking about building quizzes in WordPress. Now, quizzes are a great way to boost engagement with your audience, and also adds another tool into your content marketing strategy as well. So, first, we'll talk about how we can use quizzes in marketing, and then I'll go through a couple of plugins, a couple of ways that you can actually use or build quizzes within WordPress. Okay, so quizzes for lead generation. It's probably not the thing that comes into the foremost of everyone's heads when they think about lead generation, is building a quiz. but it can be really, really good. So what's the point of lead generation quiz? Well, it's to provide your audience with a kind of fun and interactive way of gaining valuable information from your potential lead that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get through any other kind of digital marketing techniques. So, and it's a fun way as well to collect that information from the visitor's point of view. Now, this is a great chart, and it's from one of the website from one of the plugin makers that I'll show you later on. Here we can actually look at all the different ways where a quiz is pretty good from a lead generation, from a marketing point of view. So it gets all these ticks down the column for it's a low cost per lead. It is very, very interactive, and it's easy to create quizzes. It's got a really high conversion lead from lead to buyer as well. They generally do work on autopilot. So once you've created them, then they can just run and run and run. And they do have the potential for social sharing as well. So it says viral potential tick. It depends on what your quizzes are, but they do have the potential to go viral. And that's not the same thing that you'd expect from a forum. Something. So there's some other lead generation or marketing tools or methods across the top there, guides and ebooks. You've got webinars, you've got case studies and things that you kind of normally have under your toolkit if you're doing some digital marketing for those. But the quizzes by far are the kind of the best for all of these different types of ways to interact with your leads. Okay, so people love taking quizzes. This is why they really work for lead generation. And so they like taking quizzes, fun quizzes. People love doing personality tests more than they like filling out forms. If you're wondering if personality tests or personality quizzes are useful, just go and ask any teenager and get any teenage magazine. Every 3 or 4 pages, there's a quiz on, getting your ideal boyfriend, girlfriend. Can I play with this person? Is my hero okay? All that sort of stuff. So people love taking quizzes and personality tests. And this is why the average form only converts 10% of people. So if you've got a long form with more than 10 fields on it, then on average, you're going to convert just 10% of those leads because people hate filling out forms. Whereas if you have a quiz with the same number of fields, even more, you've got a 65% conversion. So just out the bat, looking at form versus quiz, you've got a 55% increase in conversions to get exactly the same information you would like to get. So if your website has a lot of information that you want to capture from anonymous people, form probably isn't going to do it. Quiz stands a slightly higher chance of getting that information from them. And why? It's because filling out a form, really, it's a bit of a chore. And if you turn your form fields into quizzes and questions, you can basically watch your conversion rate skyrocket for those. And I've done this a lot for client websites. I've converted forms into quizzes, working with marketing teams, and they've seen a huge bump in conversions for those. So it's certainly something worth trying out, especially if you're leading towards the kind of long form forms and you're getting a really low conversion rate for those. Okay, so according to a Content Marketing Institute survey, and this was back in 2016, so it's probably a little bit out of date, but in general, 81% of the people that they surveyed agreed that interactive content grabs their attention more effectively than the static content. So the quizzes allow you to embed videos or GIFs or pictures and other types of data like that, whereas you'll know yourself, forms are pretty much just text-based. So boring forms and more interactive quizzes, 81% of people said, yep, we like filling out that sort of stuff rather than boring old forms. So you can't really go against statistics. You got 80% of people who prefer using quizzes anyway over forms. So it's a pretty good statistic there. Okay, so let's look at some best practices for quizzes. Now there's several ways that people have said this is how to create like the best practice quiz for conversions, for interactions and stuff like that. So the first one is make it less than or the average 3 minutes to complete. So probably no more than 3 minutes to complete. for those. So if you can keep your quizzes to under 3 minutes, that's the best rate of conversion. Anything over 3 minutes, and you start to see the conversion rates, people kind of get a bit bored with it and kind of scroll away. The ideal number of questions are 6 to 8 questions. So 6, 7, or 8 questions. Anything less, you're probably not capturing the amount of information you would need to get on a long form. And any more, you start to see a drop-off as well. And you'll be able to see, if you have a look in that report, the link, and I'll send out all the links to the Facebook and the meetup page. But in the previous survey, it showed, it's got several graphs, and it shows a drop-off rate after 8 questions. So 8 questions is quite high, and then 9, it kind of drops in half, and then 10 questions, you're getting really, really low. So 6 to 8 questions is the ideal sweet spot for the number there. Spend equal time creating your questions and your answers. So when you're putting together your quiz, you want to have really, really good quality questions that are going to entice people and keep them interested during the quiz. But of course, your answers for those need to be relevant as well to what you're trying to get in from your digital marketing. So you need to make sure that answers that people are giving are not just fun, but they're actually quality data that you're getting back, so you can put up in your CRM systems, you can tailor your email marketing and things like that. So on average, people say spend equal amount of time choosing your questions and the correct answers as well. Another best practice is to use GIFs and images within your quiz, and that basically keeps interest for people. GIFs inject a little bit of fun into those. Images can be relevant as well to the question and the answer as well. So it just keeps it nice and interactive, nice and interesting. You want to have, and the lead form, what we talk about, the lead form is at the very end of the quiz, when you ask additional information from people like your name and the email, so that you can email them the answers. That's called the lead form. Ideally, you want to have 5 or less questions on that lead form. I usually just stick to 2, so or maybe 3, maybe like name, email, and maybe their job title or job industry or something like that. But if you start putting on a whole load of questions, more than 5, you're going to get people to kind of drop off and not put that information. You're starting to get into that long form again. Another best practice is to add a social share on the quiz results. So the very last page of the quiz is showing the results of the quiz, and it's a great idea to have some sort of social share on there so that people can then pass that on to other people in their industry, in their niche, so that they can then fill out that as well. And that just helps you grab in more leads and more data as well. So those are the 6 best practices. So when you're creating the quiz, to kind of try and keep that maximum conversion rate alive. Okay, what have we got next? Yeah, so here is the ideal quiz question format. So the very first one is we have our title and introduction, and this needs to appeal to your niche, to your target audience, to your what I call your ideal customer avatar. So it needs to be something that grabs their attention, similar to a story. It grabs their attention and makes them want to take the quiz. Then the second one, we've got an image question, and then the third one, a GIF question. So what we mean by these is you can actually use images within the quizzes. So choose this image or that image for those, or you can have a background image with the choices on top of that. The third one is a GIF, and that gives the interactivity for those and just keeps everyone fun. You know, it can be something funny, it can be something, you know, to grab their attention, but it just kind of keeps that interest. It's something a little bit different. It's what we call in video, it's like a takeaway. So when you're watching a video, you'll tend to find that sometimes they'll put like a static image there, or they'll do something to break your attention. And this is what this GIF is doing, because it's got movement, it breaks the people's attention, so it's not boring anymore. And then when it goes to number 4, you've got an image background, and then number 5, image background, number 6, image background, so an image at the back with your questions and answers overlaid, all those. Number 7 is another GIF, and again, that's just the movement, so that gets some interest again. It doesn't get the brain all going all static. Oh, it's just, you know, another thing. It breaks that routine for that, gets people interested again. Number 8 is an image background. Number 9 is image background, and then number 10 is your lead form. So that's when you say, congratulations, the quiz is finished. You'll enter your name and email address, and we'll send you the results, with the results as well. And then number 11 is your quiz results and your social sharing. So at the very end of your quiz, it's like you are a ABC type of person, and then you've got a link to social share so you can share with friends as well. So that's the ideal 8-question quiz format. So you've got your 8 questions for those. You've got your 1 title introduction, you've got your lead form, and then your results for those. So that's the ideal format. But of course, you can play around with that. You know, it doesn't, your audience might be a little bit different, but you know, this is the kind of average format, and how to, if you don't know how to create a quiz for social, digital marketing, follow this step, and you can't go very much wrong from that. Yeah, and keep quizzes fun. So here's an example. What breed of dog are you? So ready to discover your doggy personality. So that could be, you know, if you've got some sort of pet related website, you know, you want to keep things a little bit fun, you know, what cat personality, what dog personality are you? And so think of the quiz as keeping it fun within your particular niche, for your particular target audience. Can you make something funny about it, just to kind of entice people into, rather than just keep it like a boring quiz. Try and find some fun, some way to kind of lift it up for people. Okay. Right, so here are some ways of adding quizzes to WordPress. Now, the first one isn't for everyone. I use Gravity Forms. It's a pro license. I got a lock-in for a developer license very, very early on in Gravity Forms. So I only pay $99 US a year, and I get the Elite suite, which is all the add-ons. If you do have that, if you're one of those lucky users, then the Gravity Forms have a quiz add-on. So you can use that. It's not as intuitive, it's not as extensive as some of the other quiz plugins that you can get for WordPress. But, you know, if it's in your toolkit and you don't want to spend any money on anything else, then, you know, you can use that to get started. And you can add questions and GIFs and images and stuff like that. So it's not completely bland. It's just not got as fancy stuff as some of the other plugins that we look on. But, you know, it's there. It's a start. So if you've got that, then give that a go, and at least it'll allow you to create a quiz and get you kind of in that workflow of how to create quizzes, how they work, how you can integrate them with your content CRM or your email marketing system and that sort of stuff. So that's a kind of first tip there. So here's what it kind of looks like. So it looks like the Gravity Forms editor. You can drag and drop fields across to the quiz for those, and you've got your different types of answers. So you can have your first, second, or however many choices you want. You want to kind of keep it to 3 or 4 choices, I think. You can do the field types. You can have radio buttons, you can have checkboxes, you can have free-form text as well for those. You can also randomize the choices, the order of choices. Maybe not so much use on a personality or a fun quiz, but if you're doing like a quiz to try and test people's skills, then you might want to randomize the order. You know, if you ask people to take it maybe every couple of months or something, or every 6 months, just so they don't know the exact same places to go for those. And you can completely customize, you know, any of your answers as well for those. So the interface is really easy. If you're used to Gravity Forms, build up a form, it's exactly the same. Drag and drop those stuff. You can move things around as well in the quiz form for those. It's a really simple interface, really easy to use. And here's the quiz settings on themselves. So this is once you create the quiz and the interface, you can go to the quiz settings, you know, and you can choose certain bits about the quiz. So you can shuffle the quiz fields around if you didn't want the same ones all the time. You've got a pass and a fail rate if you want to. You don't have to, but there's a pass fail rate. So this one here, for example, has got to a 70% and they pass for those. Or you can have a letter, and the letter means are you. So that's more in the personality test. So when you're going through all the different questions, you can assign a letter to it. And then at the very end of the quiz, you know, it'll total up all the questions. Let's say you are an A, a B, or a C, and then you can assign whatever personality you are to whatever letter and tell them what it is for those. So really simple settings for that. So you've got Gravity Forms and the Elite license. It's certainly a good place to start in. There we go. So it's developer friendly. This is what I was talking about here. So this is the letter one. So you can have your grades, A to E, and on percentages, or you can just tell them, you know, you're this person or that person. For those, you can grade those that way. And there's lots of stuff that you can bring in. So on the left-hand side here, there's little curly brackets. That's stuff that you can bring in to your quiz confirmation. So that's at the very end. This is when it says, congratulations, you know, here's your grade, or you are personality type A, B, C, or D. You can grab that information and bring it into the Gravity forms. Let's see. And this is on the dashboard for the Gravity forms quiz thing. So you can see the number of entries, the average score that people get, the average percentage, the pass rate. It's got a few little graphs and things as well that you can compare all the stuff. So they have went to a little bit of effort. It's not just a simple form, a simple quiz that Gravity Forms has. It's got the whole dashboard and stats, and you can extract that, export that as well, and then bring it into whatever it is you want to analyze that data. So I think that's the last one for Gravity Forms. It is. So that's Gravity Forms. A good place to start if you've got the Elite license. If not, here is another plugin to use. Excuse me. So this is called the WP Quiz, and the link's there at the bottom. So it's in the WordPress org repository, in the plugin repository, WP-quiz. And it is really, really easy to use. This one, I've put it up on my test server when I was putting this together, and it's really, really easy to create simple forms, quizzes, sorry. They've got different types of data. This one's called a flip card for those. So if you want to put that in as one of your kind of disruption images, you can kind of click those and it flips with a little bit of information at the back. But you'll probably use it for this type of quiz. This is more in line with digital marketing. So these are the personality quizzes that you can have. And it comes with a few templates as well. And again, personality quizzes, they are fantastic for audience engagement and collecting information from your visitors. Now, people love taking quizzes, we've said that, and they're always curious to see the end result, especially in these personality quizzes. And this is really where, you know, you've got these magazines, these niche magazines. We talked at the beginning about the teenage magazines. They've always got some sort of personality quiz. Here are a couple for adults. So you've got what's your marital status? So if that's your particular niche. Or then you've got, you know, what type of millennial are you? What's your favorite holiday as well? So there's lots of different types of ways. And people are really, you know, they're intrigued by these quizzes. They always want to see what type of person they are. So this example here, we're looking at marital status. And we're looking at favorite holidays, I think seasons, favorite vacation destinations. You can do career aspirations as well. What's your favorite morning beverage to work out what type of millennials they are. So lots of different ways that you can grab information. Look at all the information that's coming in from these forms. So this first one here is, are you single, married, divorced, in open relationship? For those, if you ask that sort of information just in a normal boring form, people say, no, I'm not giving you that information, that's personal. But wrap it in a quiz and people are more likely, 55% more likely, to give you that information you can use then in your digital marketing to segment audiences, you know, and really kind of tailor that information directly to them. Okay, next one. Here is my answer to that quiz. What type of millennial are you? I am an old school millennial, apparently. There, so maybe not quite accurate, but it's a lot of fun. So adding these social shares at the very bottom, you've got the example of these social share buttons, which are really, really important if you're doing these types of quizzes for digital marketing. So you really want to allow somebody who is taking this quiz to then share the results. So this will share the results on Facebook, on Twitter, on whatever it is. It's a pretty old one, it's got Google Plus on there. But it's sharing the results. So if I was keen, I'd say, oh, I'm going to share that. I'm an old school millennial. And there'll be a link to take that quiz for other people. So anyone in their social feeds are now going to see their result. And if they might be enticed to take that result again, then you're kind of getting more people in as leads, which is always a good thing for your business. Here's another one. So trivia quizzes are just like that. So you might not be able to gather important market information, but they are fun. You know, and a good way to break up and promote content as well. So we talked about digital marketing, gathering information. You can just put quizzes out there to boost your social engagement and just be a little bit fun for those. So here's the one. Do you think you're a true Star Wars fan. So if you're like a techie, or if you're like a sci-fi buff, you can just put something like that on your social stream, on your social, and you're bringing people into your website. So it's good for Google. You're getting all the social shares as well. So it's boosting your online community as well. So doing fun quizzes can be just as good as collecting actual data as well. And if you want to know, just for fun, what type of Star Wars person I am, so I decided to choose all the wrong answers for this one. So I went through that quiz and chose all the wrong answers for those. So this one here, finally, last question, what happened when Darth Vader threw the Emperor over the rail and say he only got hurt? So wrong. So there, I got my result. It says, you suck. You should be better complete than Star Wars. You should better complete the Star Wars series again or watch it. So you can have fun with it as well. Okay, excellent. So if you're looking for a more marketing oriented quiz making tool, so that one was WP Quiz, the WordPress plugin. It is free. I think there are pro upgrades or add-ons, but you can do all that personality quiz within the free one. So it's a good place to start. But if you're looking for a more digital marketing oriented quiz making tool, you might want to look at this one, and it's called Interact. Now, this is a paid service. So we went through Gravity Forms, if you've got that in your toolkit. We've went with WP Quiz, which is free, and it's got some pro add-ons. But this one here, Interact, it is a service. It's an online service. So it's a paid service, and it's designed at capturing email and other information at the end of the quiz to send the results to that person. Now, there is a free plan, but unfortunately, you can't capture any lead information at the end or change the branding. So I didn't feel that was very useful in that. So if you sign up to their growth paid plan or above, then you can change the branding. You can match your website branding to the particular templates for there. There's branching logic as well, which you don't find in the other two examples. So for example, based on the answer to a question, you can actually branch out to have different questions depending on what the answer from that. So if you're into digital marketing, you've got a sales team, if you've got clients for a sales team, they will love this because they'll be able to really detail the following questions they'll be able to give based on previous answers for those. Now, there's also a gallery of pre-built templates. So if you're not a designer like me, I'm not a designer, if you want kind of pre-built templates that look really cool, that you can just, customize, change the questions, drop in a few graphics here and there, then they have got hundreds of templates in here. So it's well worth looking at for this one. Again, it's a paid service, but it's well worth looking at this if you're kind of more into the digital marketing, if you want that kind of more interactivity, more control for that, more professional looking templates. The course, they have details, analytics. They've got giving you lots of stuff on the dashboard. For example, here is just a quick funnel here that tells you a number of views, who started it, who all went through to completion. So your completion rate for there, and the number of leads that you've gained from that particular. And it kind of runs these quizzes as campaigns. So if you're used to a customer relationship manager or used to an email marketing system, then that terminology of campaign you'll be used to. So each quiz that you do is in a campaign, and all the information you get is basically on that campaign. And you can compare previous campaigns with campaigns you're currently running and stuff like that. So lots and heaps of stats on there if that's what you want to get out of it. Really, really good. This one here is, so they have a WordPress plugin. So yes, it is all done on the Interact website, but then you can embed that stuff into your WordPress website using this particular plugin. Now you can do that anyway. So they give you full embed code. So if you've got Gutenberg up there, you've got Editor, or you've got Beaver Builder or Divi or Elementor, then you can just grab that information and paste it into an HTML section. But if you want to be able to just do it really, really simply, if you're not fussed with all that code stuff, then you can then just choose their WordPress plugin, and it allows you to insert stuff into posts and pages. It allows you to create pop-ups as well with the quiz inside as well. So it's kind of a done for you, no coding type of plugin, and all you need to do is link the plugin up with your Interact account. So it's really, really quick and easy to do that. I gave it a bit of a try, and it was really easy for me to link those together So that might be an option that you want to do if you want to go down this more kind of professional route for quizzes. Okay, where are we? Oh, that shouldn't be in there. I think that's it. I think that's it. Sorry, I don't know why those were there. So that's from the last presentation. But that was it. I just wanted to give you a roundup of what quizzes are, how they can be used for digital marketing, because it might not be the first thing that comes to your head when you think of digital marketing, and some options for you to put it into WordPress. So we have the Gravity forms. If you've already got the elite license for that, you can get started out straight away with their quiz. And then we've got WP Quiz, which is the free WordPress plugin. It's really, really good. You can do heaps of stuff with the free version, but they've got paid options as well if you want to upgrade and do other things within that. And then you've got the Interact service as well, which is a SaaS application. It's a hosted quiz service, but lots of information, lots of caption information, but you can link it with WordPress because they do have a plugin. So that's all I have for you. Tonight, I'm just going to stop my screen. There we go. And bring everyone back online. So, friends, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat if you don't want to go on camera. Or, come up or put your mic on and you can ask me anything to do with WordPress and quizzes and marketing.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind, being totally ignorant, is do these come up as pop-ups or do you just embed them in the front page of your website?
Yeah, great question. So should you have the quizzes in the pop-ups or should you have them just as single pages? I think what I would do if I'm starting out is I would test both of those and see which ones worked out the best. For some people, pop-ups, they just annoy people.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question, because they annoy me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I think quizzes work better for me when I embed them in a sales or landing page. So to get people to the quiz, I'd be promoting that on social media. So Instagram, Facebook groups, things like that. And the link that I would send them would be to a static page. Okay, so a landing page with no header, no footer, just the quiz right in front of them for there. And for me, that converts a lot better. I don't think I have any quizzes in pop-ups because I'm kind of like yourself, Bob. When I see a pop-up, I want to click on that cross. I'm looking for that cross before I'm seeing what's in the pop-up. Yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, definitely test both because you never know, how your audience is going to react.
I've got another one, just to be awkward.
Yeah.
Look, if I run a program where I'm getting people to do a course which they're already enrolled in, but I want them to do other courses that I'm developing later, would you throw a quiz in halfway through a course, or would you? Because you already captured them in some sense, but would you try to entice them to think about the next level?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good question. I probably wouldn't put that directly in the course. So I think all the information that goes to the course needs to be pertinent to that course, especially if someone's paid for it. But there's no harm in putting something at the end of the course to say, you finish this course, here go and take this next step, because you obviously want to survey people to figure out, are they a good fit for that next course? So certainly at the end, you can throw them off to a quiz for that. But I would probably stick that in the email marketing campaign.
Yeah.
So
they were the idiot questions from the idiot to help you.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else can help me with their idiot questions.
No, they were really, really good questions.
No, I mean, as an ex-teacher, I always used to say people sit there thinking, what question should I? What will they ask?
Yeah.
That will help me instead of, and you don't have the courage to ask the questions, but you should.
Yeah. No, that's really good. Thank you. And we've got one in the chat from John. John says we use a couple of survey packages to create quizzes and embed them in WordPress using an iframe, Redcap and Select Survey, and they work great. Yep, so that's that Interact. That's exactly the same. So you're embedding those quizzes. You create them all within the SaaS tool and then just embed them into WordPress. And they're saying that works fine for them. And it's not daunting. So if there's any beginners out there, don't panic. if we talk about things like embedding in iframes, it's not bad. It's really easy to do. You can just Google that, or you can have a look at the Interact website. They've even if you're not going to use their website on Interact, they've got really good blog section and tips on quizzes, so you can get a lot of information from them as well. So it'd be a good place to go and do a little bit of research as well. But thanks for that, John. Anyone else got any other questions? You can pop them in the chat, or come up and ask me directly. I'll give everyone a couple of minutes. See if anything else comes through. Sharon, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I was just kind of pondering, like, with if you were doing, say, like a course type scenario, would those quizzes be able to be spattered throughout the course, or would you use that particular tool just for the end, and there would be a better tool that you would use for the actual course quizzes?
Yeah, I would think if you're doing a course, I would assume that the course tool would come with some sort of quiz generator
facility. Yeah, okay. I have not used one before, so I just didn't know.
Yeah, if you use Moodle, Moodle's pretty good for courses, and you can get, I mean, I'm involved with Moodle. You can get it for free if you've been involved. Well, I'm not sure what the rules of engagement are now, but that's really useful for all sorts of educational topics.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be the case, but I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. So
didn't want to leave you hanging, John.
Learn Dash as well is a WordPress online learning tool.
Okay.
And they've got lots of add-ons. Quizzes is one of them that you can get. So within that tool, you build that. I use a tool called Fresh Learn. It's nothing to do with WordPress. I got a lifetime deal, and they have their own quiz generator inside there as well. So with Learn Dash, if you're thinking about doing courses, it's probably a good thing to start if you want to run that on WordPress.
Yep.
And their quiz generator allows you to embed HP5 stuff. And if you don't know what HP5 stuff is, there's a good takeaway for you today. HP5. It's like interactive stuff that you can have within your courses. So it allows people to drag elements, draw on the screen, have like audio or video embedded in their quizzes.
Cool. Okay. No worries.
So, yeah, have a look at that. But for these quizzes we've been talking about tonight, that'd be more for lead generation. So trying to figure out what type of people want your course, or trying to get information from them, to embed them into an email marketing chain to then promote your course. A quiz would be a good way to start.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, no worries. Sorry, I took you off on another little segue there.
No, that's fine. Absolutely fine. John is saying that RedCap is free for universities and government agencies. Select Survey is a paid version tool from the US. So, yeah, unless you're in education, you'll get RedCap, but it sounds like Select Survey is probably going to be similar to that Interact, like a SaaS tool that you pay for.
Yeah.
Well. Yep.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Okay, friends, if you don't have anything else, I think I shall just call it a night. Let you go and have your dinner, go to bed, go to the gym, whatever it is you do, and then get some dinner because I'm hungry.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank you, Will.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, John.
Always
always
valuable as usual. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Eva. See you next time.